Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, super. How are you?
Good. It's really good to be back at the office here. And today we get to talk to your daddy again with Tuesdays with Charlie. That's always exciting. Hey, take a listen to this. Ladies, if you're looking for a man that's not afraid to do a little housework, marry a teacher. What do you think of this?
Really?
A study found that guys who work in fields typically dominated by females do 25% more housework compared to men who work in male-dominated jobs. So saying,
I could see that.
Marry a man that's a teacher or is like a bank teller or a nurse or something where it's more of a female, not that it's a female job, but more females do that job, and you'll get more housework out of the guy.
I can see that.
There you go. Does that work in our situation? Is this a female?
I don't believe so, no. I think.
Do I do a lot of housework?
No.
I take out the garbage?
Yeah, you do
got
take out
that one
the
thing
garbage.
going for me. Coming up, we got some special things going on today. We'll tell you what those are on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
For those of you who say happy holidays, you'll be happy to know about a holiday that's going on today, because today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
Today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. I think I kind of goofed that up.
You did.
Anyway, today is TikTok Day. Yeah, TikTok Day. It's Tuesday, December the 29th. It is also YMCA Day. You know, so for those of you who say happy holidays, I'm sure these are the holidays you're talking about. Right?
Probably, I suppose. I don't know.
We do have another big holiday coming up later this week. We've got New Year's Eve. And New Year's Day. So we'll have a lot of fun stuff going on around the area for that stuff. So I just want to say, if you're going to be celebrating those, please make sure you don't drink and drive. Have a sober driver that comes with, a designated driver. Same thing for today on TikTok Day. If you're going out to celebrate on TikTok Day, make sure you don't, TikTok and drive or whatever.
I have no idea what that even means.
I don't know either. I'm just being silly. Coming up, we've got some interesting research to tell you about. It's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Researchers are working on a thermal imager that one day might be used to detect liars at government checkpoints. The research arm of the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA, has been working since 2000 on a camera that measures minute changes in facial and skin temperatures. Those fluctuations, involuntary and undetectable to the owner of the face, indicate a stress response. Researcher Troy Brown says that this might signal untruths. The DIA is deeply interested in deciphering deception in job candidates applying for positions with access to classified info, and in prisoners captured on the battlefield undergoing interrogation. So far, the only way for the government to get an inkling that somebody may be less than truthful is a polygraph test, which people call a lie detector test. But that's something you have to hook them up to,
right? And
they know they're going through that. And there are some people that if they know they're being tested, then they lie and they convince themselves, and they still pass that. So with this thing, it's a camera that, by watching you, watches some key components of your face, including the temperature level, and like if you twitch a little bit when you say a certain thing, or if you move your nose or whatever it is. There are little tells, I guess is what they call those. Mm-hmm. So can you tell when somebody's lying to you?
Usually.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at that.
Am I a good liar?
No.
I can't lie with a hoot. I'm not going to lie. I get caught every time. If I do something wrong, I have to just say, hey, you know what? Guess what? I did this. Sorry. You were going to find out in like 3 minutes anyway, so I'm going to just tell you right now. Anyway, this whole thing here, this research that they're working on, could be very interesting technology to have, but I hope that it gets used properly. All I can tell you is we know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. 63-year-old Joel Kritzer was charged with marijuana possession in Butler, Pennsylvania. Officers stopped him, and they found some dope on the floor of his car. And it looks as if he was a bit of a dope as well. They probably wouldn't have pulled him over, but he was driving down the road with only 3 tires on his car. And he seemed oblivious to the fact that he only had 3 tires. Yeah. What a dope. Hey, I got another story, and we got time for it. 42-year-old David Allen Rogers was arrested for driving a Christmas parade float while intoxicated. This happened in Anderson, South Carolina's annual holiday parade. According to reports, when he was caught and they were trying to stop him, he took off and went through a red light, led police on a 3-mile chase, pulling a float with 19 passengers on it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's a bad idea. Next time, get one of those sober people to drive the float.
Oh, man.
I'm just saying. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
40-year-old Antoinette Millard, I think is how you say that, of Buffalo, New York, has filed a lawsuit against American Express, saying that it's their fault that she went on a $950,000 shopping spree.
Oh, good Lord.
That's a pretty big shopping spree.
I'm sorry,
She wants them
but
to cancel out her bill.
No, personal responsibility, lady.
She says the shopping binge took place in New York City's priciest stores because, after all, Amex did imprudently issue her their prestigious Black Centurion card. While buying all of this expensive stuff, Miss Miller pawned herself off as Princess Antoinette of Saudi royal family and as a former Victoria's Secrets model somewhere else. She says that she suffers from anorexia, depression, panic attacks, and head tumors. It made her impulsively frenzy shop, and she couldn't stop herself. And she just kept spending. And somehow this is American Express's fault.
I don't think so.
Because she was given the card from them, and she had no limit. And she's saying, you should have given me a limit.
There's no way she's going to win that. There's just no way.
Hope not.
Because then they would be setting precedent, and everybody who has a balance on their credit cards anywhere in the country would be able to say
$950,000 shopping spree.
That's your own fault, lady.
Yeah, it is. That sounds ridiculous. Anyway, that's your moment of duh. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That's on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. I don't know if you know about it or not, but there's a movie that came out, Star Wars something?
Yeah, I've heard something about that.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of it, and it was everywhere. And last week at Christmas time, even people who were not fans of the movie opened up gifts because there was so much stuff. It's all over the place, and it's broken every box office record you could possibly imagine, bringing in nearly $250 million over its first weekend.
That's crazy.
Racking up $120 million just on Friday and $57 million Thursday during those previews. So they did quite okay with this Star Wars
That's
thing.
one movie series I just don't get.
Our son is a
I'm not
huge fan,
into
though.
it at all.
Yeah, our son Troy loves it, and I encourage him to love it. That's awesome. Glad that you like it. Hey, Shaquille O'Neal, you've heard of this guy, right? Shaq?
Sure.
He has sold the rights to his future business endeavors to Authentic Brands Group. They're going to manage O'Neal's name in both the merchandise and endorsement world. He will now be a part of a very exclusive group of people who've made their name a brand. Other names on their list, Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson. Here's the interesting thing. They're all dead. Shaq, are you okay? I hope he's doing all right. Hey, more than a quarter of Americans have not crapped. Let me try that again. Just stop it. More than a quarter of Americans have not cracked open a book, either print or digital, in the last year. That number is on the rise. The figure has risen to 28% in 2015. It was 21% in 2011. However, the survey of nearly 2,000 people by Pew Research found that Americans overall are fairly well read, averaging 12 books a year, or about a book a month. You know why that number is getting bigger? It went from 21% to 28% over 4 years. Smartphones, that's why. I used to read books all the time, and now all the time that I used to spend reading books, I'm on my stupid smartphone.
I read. I still read books.
I know.
Everybody in our family reads. That's a little
That is
scary
good.
that the number is growing of people who do not read.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't read. Hey, a surprising new study seems to indicate that driving while using a hands-free cell phone may not be any safer than driving with a typical cell phone. Comprehensive study on distracted driving has found that there's no conclusive evidence that your hands-free cell phone while driving is any less risky than handheld cell phones. Also, there's no evidence that cell phones or texting bans have reduced crashes. These findings come after 9 states now have imposed bans on handheld cell phones while driving. 34 states have imposed texting bans for drivers behind the wheel. Despite these findings, the Governor Highway Safety Association does not recommend the restrictions on cell phone use or texting be lifted in any of the states where they're presently existing. So saying even though we can't conclusively prove anything with this study, we think if you have it in place, say, here's the thing, even if it's not a law where you live, don't text while driving. It's just a bad idea. And even if they can't prove that it's a bad idea, you know it's a bad idea. It's called common sense. All right, health experts are giving America's senior citizens something serious to chew on, Heidi.
Okay.
New numbers showing that they need to eat better and they need to exercise more. A report from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show 1/3 of Americans over the age of 65 don't take part in any physical activities in their free time, Heidi. Can you believe that?
I cannot believe that.
We're under 65, and neither do we. Research says that twice as many, 2/3 of all seniors, don't get enough fruits and veggies every day. So they're saying, hey, have more fruits and veggies and do a little exercise here and there. Mm-hmm. You'll live to the ripe old age of whatever you are right now. All right, could a blind person drive a car? Researchers are trying to make that far-fetched notion a reality. The National Federation of the Blind and Virginia Tech plan to demonstrate a prototype vehicle next year equipped with technology that would help a blind person drive a car independently. I've seen the study, or I've seen this online. There's a video. It's really cool. A car is very similar to a regular car, but it's got a little white cane out front that taps the ground while you're driving. Right. I'm just teasing.
That whole concept is very scary to me.
It is scary. And you know what? I can tell you, I've got friends that are blind, and I think that they would love to be able to get in a car and have it drive them where they're going, but I just don't know if our technology is there yet. I really don't. All right, coming up, we've got Tuesdays with Charlie. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We pick up the phone, we call my father-in-law for a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
How you doing, Charlie?
Well, I'm doing great as far as if the snow had stopped.
Yeah, it's winter now, isn't it?
Yes, I think it is officially here.
Yeah. Well, what kind of cool stuff are we going to learn about on our last edition of Tuesdays with Charlie for 2015?
And I'm sending you a bill for the collect calls at the end of the month.
That's cool. Yeah, Heidi will take care of that.
Okay, I'm sure she will. Hey, you like baseball?
I don't hate baseball.
I don't watch it.
It's not, that's a fun thing to go and watch live. I've never been a fan to watch it on TV.
We don't even watch it when we go live. We just go to drink the beer and talk to our friends.
All two of them? Hey, did you know a baseball player only has to spend 1 day in the major leagues to earn free health care for life?
No kidding.
What?
It's like being a politician.
Yeah, well, better.
Yeah.
Jeez.
1 day in the major leagues. I don't think I could hack it, though.
1 day you could have made it.
No, probably not.
You could have been a catcher.
Maybe for a half hour, and then they'd say, you know what, you don't know anything about anything. Why don't you go? Go suit up and go home.
Hey, do you ever watch Family Guy?
I've watched it, yeah.
You know that every episode of Family Guy includes at least one instance of a character saying, "What the hell?"
No kidding.
I didn't know that.
So does every episode of Tuesdays with Charlie.
So, you watch it next time.
I will.
So, what the hell?
I did not know that. I'll have to pay attention.
Hey, then there's a castle in the Czech Republic that has a bear moat.
A bear moat?
Yep, it's filled with actual bears. It's been there for the past 300 years.
Huh.
So they have a moat filled with bears.
Yep, that's better than water.
Yeah, I suppose.
Crawl down there, you're done.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about the basement of your castle leaking water.
The basement of your castle.
Your castle's basement. Yeah, think how wet those things must be. Oh, my moat leaked again.
Hey, then at one time, Sweden's 9th most voted for political party was the Donald Duck Party.
No kidding.
Really?
Donald Duck Party.
So they have a good sense of humor there in Sweden, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but they had free beer and wider sidewalks, is what they promised.
Well, there you go.
I like that. I'd vote for that.
Somebody got voted in.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Till you get voted in, you have to actually do it.
Well, yeah. They don't renege on you.
Uh-huh.
Hey, then, the average British person, you've been over there before,
Yeah.
will spend a year of their life hungover.
I think that
like
number
our
is
family.
I think that number's a lot higher in the U.S. Don't you think?
I don't know, but it sounds like our family.
Yeah. And I'd say it's way more than a year in that family.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had spent pretty much a year hungover when I was 18.
My daughter.
You guys are certainly related.
Then I got one last thing here for you.
Okay.
You remember that, what was it? They called it the Ice Bucket Challenge?
Yeah.
Where you dumped ice water all over somebody or something?
Yeah.
Well, here's one that, this is better than that. It's guys are grabbing their nads to raise awareness for testicular cancer.
Really? That's classy.
Yeah. Are they videotaping it and throwing it online? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm looking, but I don't see it.
Huh.
I bet that hurts.
Yeah? Sounds kind of interesting. Well, you ready for a little question for you?
Let's see if we can make maybe one right on the last day of the year here.
All right. I'm looking right now of all these things on here and see if there's one that you might actually get right. Should we do a true and false question? Would that make it easier?
That'd be 50%.
All right. True or false? The act of sneezing is called expulsion. True or false?
False.
False. You are correct. The act of sneezing is called sternutation. Sternutation.
I knew that.
So,
He was going to say that.
I should have asked you, what is it then?
I'd have known that.
It's a sternutation
He was just
thing.
going to say that.
Well, Charlie, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you so much for taking our call.
Hey, we'll do her next year.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you next year.
Bye, Daddy.
Hey, bye, Fluff. Bye, Don.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can. And if you've got a question that you would like to ask Charlie for next week or sometime in the next year, shoot an email to us. Send it to us at johnandheidishow.com. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by carsforsale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at carsforsale.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A report links heavy TV watching as a child to later attention problems in teens.
Really?
Results show that an increase in teens with ADD are kids who watch TV a lot as children. So people are going, what is the deal? How come kids all have ADD now? Well, maybe it's because for a while their parents said, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be a parent. I'm going to put you in front of the TV and put on Blue's Clues. Watch Barney for a half hour.
TV, it was around when we were kids, so that's not...
Yeah, I have ADD. What are you talking about? I'm sure that's probably what it is. All right, hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A Belgian prosecutor recommended that the Church of Scientology should be charged with fraud and extortion for allegedly using illegal business contracts, violating privacy laws, and conducting illegal medical practices. So, fun fact for you, Scientology might be in a little bit of trouble. That's kind of interesting. I don't know anybody that practices Scientology.
I don't either, no.
I know people that practice a lot of other religions.
I know celebrities that do.
I don't know anybody personally. So if you do personally, you have to let me know what that's all about. I'm not really sure. Coming up, going to talk about winning the lottery and how awesome that would be in theory. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Hey, if you won the lottery, would you be all set for life, Heidi? Do you think you'd just be set?
No, probably not after paying freaking taxes.
Well, not so for a 49-year-old lottery winner from Germany either. Although winning just under $1 million a few years ago, he blew it all. And then when the money ran out, he turned to crime to finance his luxurious lifestyle. Because he kind of got hooked on, the finer things in life.
Right.
Police believe he's responsible for dozens of burglaries. excuse me, burglaries. I'm trying to talk and then I got like a hiccup. How do I get rid of these hiccups? Police believe he's responsible for dozens of burglaries. They caught him red-handed during the latest break-in. They found the equivalent of about $12,000 in cash, along with mobile telephones, jewelry, and watches on him. The cops believe the guy has robbed at least 77 places. He's admitted to a couple of them. And some of these date back all the way to 2003. So it sounds like he was in this biz before he won the lottery.
Wow.
So anyway, he won the lottery and, spent it all and said, hey, I know how to get more. Go out and steal some stuff. I couldn't even imagine that. You see where people they'll steal things like in the just plain daylight. There was a story we read a while ago where there was a couple that did their Christmas shopping by following the UPS truck.
Yeah, that's
and when the
so
UPS truck would drop something at a door, they saw that nobody answered the door. They would drop it. And when the truck drove away, she would run up and grab the box, jump in, and then they'd tail the truck to the next stop. And that's how they did their shopping in broad daylight. I cannot imagine. I wouldn't do it in the dark either. I just want to make sure I point that out. But I can't even imagine the guts it would take to do something like that. And like this guy here. 77
the lack of
burglaries.
morals that it would take, I think, is a more accurate
description. It is just nuts. Guys, do something good with, you got some sort of brights up there. You figured out a smart little system, but do something good with those brights, all right? All right, coming up, we're going to talk about a stress hormone named cortisol and what it could be doing to your hair. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
I'm not exactly sure what stress hormone cortisol is. Have you ever heard of this before? I think I've heard of the name, but I don't know what it is. Well, high levels of the stress hormone cortisol in your hair, somehow they can test it in your hair, can be a strong predictor of heart attacks months in advance.
Oh.
Canadian researchers issue such jobs as marital or financial problems and are linking those to increased risks of developing cardiovascular disease, including heart attacks. And they say they can show it through levels of cortisol in your hair.
Yikes.
Where do I go to get my hair checked for cortisol? It's talking about high levels of stress. I'm like, yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I
think if we had our hair tested, there would be...
If my hair's falling out...
You're supposed to be dead.
Yeah, my hair's falling out. Does that count as something? Is it because I have too much cortisol? I might have to Google this one. All right, coming up, got an interesting story from Japan about somebody wanting to change their name, and it's an interesting story. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
There's a law on the books that forces married couples to share the same surname. And so, like, if you wanted to keep your last name when we got married, they'd say, then don't get married. No, this is in Japan.
Yeah.
So, in Japan, a 19th century law forcing married couples to share the same surname has been upheld by Japan's Supreme Court. The top court's grand bench is what they call it, is their highest ruling body, and they say the law does not violate the Constitution. They're saying, hey, if you want to keep your name, then don't get married.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of an interesting thing. That's happening in Japan. Now, that same exact kind of thing, if that happened here in the United States, you'd have somebody going, well, it might hurt somebody's feelings, so we better not do that.
I know people that hyphenate.
And nothing wrong with hyphenating if that's what you want to do, but you know what?
The people that hyphenate or that keep their previous last name are usually obnoxious, annoying, horrible people.
Hey, the phone's ringing. It's somebody that hyphenates. We actually know some people that hyphenate. You have a friend that hyphenated. Jill?
No, she didn't hyphenate.
Oh, she didn't?
No, she would joke about it because her last name before getting married was Now, and she just wanted to be able to say, I'm Jill Mills now.
Okay.
But she did not hyphenate.
Thanks for throwing that whole name out there. Jill, I was just saying your first name. Sorry for dragging.
She doesn't live anywhere around here.
So she didn't, I thought she hyphenated.
No, she did not.
Oh, so that was just a joke that she was saying. Okay, well, see, I thought she did. Well, I have no problem with it personally. If you wanted to keep your maiden name, whatever, doesn't matter. To me, it's a name is a name. But I think that it's interesting that, there are people who say, hey, that has a lot to do with, you love this person, right? Then marry them and take their name. So it's really interesting to me that in Japan, the Supreme Court upheld the fact that if you marry somebody, you need to have the same surname. Now, the way this is written in this story doesn't say that you have to take his. I wonder if there's anybody that, they take her name.
I doubt it. I don't
just
think
says
that's
they
the way
have to
that
have
it
the
works.
same surname.
Yeah, who knows?
Interesting stuff. A graduate from New Jersey is in the news. We'll tell you what happened there. It's a really cool story on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1 plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
You ever watch these shows where some book or something was found and it turns out to be like this super rare, very valuable item and people didn't even know that's what it was? That kind of thing just happened with a graduate student at Northern New Jersey University. He says he found a very rare first edition of the King James Bible.
Oh,
Think
very
about how
cool.
old this thing is.
Wow.
He was looking through some library's rare bookshelves. According to Yahoo News, Brian Shelter is a doctoral candidate in book history at Drew University. He stumbled upon the Bible sitting in a box in October while he was collecting a sample of 17th century books that were printed in England. The 1611 Bible is one of less than 200 versions thought to still exist. So this is from 1611.
That is crazy.
There's less than 200 of them that they know of that still exist. This was sitting in a box in the back of a library for hundreds of years now. I don't know if it was hundreds. It's been there for a while.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be fun just to go through all those old books?
It would be. And I'll tell you, that's one of the things that's really hard for me to throw away a book. It is so hard for me to throw away a book because I'm like, I want to donate to somebody, but there are places where they've got so many books. You're like, we don't need any more books. Come on, don't bring them here.
Yeah.
So that's a tough thing. And if you've got books that you don't want, but I don't have anything nearly as valuable as this, but I do have a book that was signed by Mark Twain. And that was almost thrown away. And I saved it I literally picked it out of the garbage as we were driving to the dump grounds to throw this stuff away. And I saw the book and it said Mark Twain on the cover. And I was like, oh, I've heard of him. And I threw it in the front of the vehicle. And then on the way back from the dump grounds, I started reading it and it was signed. It was signed to a relative of mine. I was like, whoa, I'm glad we didn't throw that away. All right, coming up, going to tell you about an app that could pay you to go for a walk. Yeah, it's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
Good news for you, Heidi.
What's that?
I always try to end this program with something positive. And for those of you who are looking for just one more little thing, one more little nudge, just a tiny little notion to get off your tush and go for a walk in the new year, for that, what is it called again? A resolution?
Or New Year's resolution.
Yeah, I don't do those. But for those of you who do, bit walking might just pay you to do it. It's an app that will pay you to go on a walk. Bit walking tracks steps, just like a standard fitness tracker or a pedometer. As your steps rack up, so does your money. Cha-ching.
Really?
Yeah, the smartphone app keeps a counter of currency along with the distance traveled so users can see cents stacking up throughout the day. It takes 10,000 steps to generate one Bitwalk dollar, which is equal to about $1. So 10,000 steps equals $1. So
what is this app?
It's called Bitwalking, is what it says in here, Bitwalking.
I'm going to download that.
Are we going to go for walks then?
I'll gladly go.
No, I'm not going to go for a walk. I'm going to throw my smartphone in a dryer and put it on tumble. I wonder how they know that you're. I suppose it tracks how far you've gone. So yeah, you couldn't do that. Could tie it to your dog's collar and let it go for a walk. I'm just thinking of ways to cheat this app, so because somebody's going to do it, and then they're going to cancel the whole darn thing. Anyway, 10,000 steps to generate one BW dollar. I think that means Bitwalk dollar.
Huh.
So I have to check into this. It sounds interesting, but you shouldn't have to get paid to go for a walk. You should do it because of all the health benefits, right?
Right, but if there's other benefits as well, that's not a bad thing.
There you go. Sounds good to me. All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Hey, Heidi, you want to go for a walk? I'll
sure.
pay you $1
after I get this app.
All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Hey, if you're looking for something for the new year and maybe have a new you, shave off that scruffy beard. It is so 2014. You've already had it an extra year. I mean, everybody who's anybody got rid of their dumb beard already. So get rid of that beard. Or if you know someone that has one, buy them a razor and give them a hint. Get into the current time frame. Everybody's clean shaven now, people. You can keep a goatee if you want. Don't keep just a mustache, though. They'll put you on a list for something like that. But if you're looking for a nice new thing for the new year, make that face nice and smooth for your sweetheart with a little help from dollarshaveclub.com/radio. All right, they rounded up the dumbest calls to the British police emergency line, and there was one on the top of the list from a woman who called an ambulance when she broke her fingernail in a nightclub.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, she dialed their equivalent of 911. I think it's 999 there. Anyway, their equivalent of 911. And when they answered, she said, "I need an ambulance." They're like, "Oh, is everything okay? What happened?" "I broke my fingernail."
That is ridiculous.
Okay. Is there a problem? "I broke my fingernail." Okay, we're going to just send a policeman out there to shoot you because you're an idiot. All right, yesterday, Heidi, we talked about this new high school exam, this exit exam. Now, you got to look that way because I don't want you cheating here. I'm going to ask you this, and then, folks, I'm going to share this on our Facebook page because this will be a little fun thing you can stump your friends with. How long did the 100 Years' War last?
100 years.
116 years. What country makes Panama hats?
Panama.
Ecuador. From which animal do we get cat gut?
I don't know. Dogs.
No, sheep and horses.
Okay.
In which month do Russians celebrate the October Revolution?
November.
You're right, November. What is a camel's hairbrush made of?
Camel's hairbrush.
Camel's hairbrush. What kind of fur is it made from?
I don't know. Elephant.
Squirrel fur. Elephants don't have fur. What are you talking about? You're trying to cheat. You're looking at my answers over here.
I'm not. How was that looking at your answers?
Know.
I got it wrong.
I know you did. You got it wrong in a good way, too. Animal fur, John. Animal fur. You mean woolly mammoths? What are you talking about? All right. The Canary Islands in the Pacific are named after what animal?
Goldfinch.
No. They're named after dogs, of course.
Oh, of course.
What was King George's first name?
William.
Albert. What color is a purple finch?
Green.
Crimson. You're terrible at this game. Where are Chinese gooseberries from?
Japan.
New Zealand. And finally, what color is the black box on a commercial airplane?
It is orange.
You are correct. You got two of those right, which means you are smarter than most people because almost nobody gets these right. So I am going to share this on our page, and here's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to share the entire thing, and you'll be able to click on there and copy this and post it for your friends, but I'm going to do it two ways, one with all the answers and one without. That way, if you want to stump your friends, you can throw it on there as well. Or should I do it as an image maybe with, I don't know. I'll figure out a way to do it. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And if you don't put show, because I think I said John and Heidi last week, there's a couple out there named John and Heidi. I'm sure they're nice people. I've not met them. I'm
sure they are.
I should send them a message.
With names like that, how could you possibly go wrong?
I should send them a message and apologize for all the misdirected comments that they get. But ours is John and Heidi Show. If you don't put the show, it goes to them. And like I said, fine, upstanding people, I'm sure. But they certainly get a lot of stuff from us. Because I've had people say, well, I sent it to you. Oops, wrong place. And you can also go to our website if you ever have a question. And that's johnandheidishow.com. And then there's a link right to our Facebook page. All right. Bonus break has been brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more there at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.